Hello, and welcome to another episode of 60 Minutes. I'm Teddy Delaney. This is my co-host, Robert Eskra. Today, hard-hitting facts at HughFest. Be ready, be prepared. All that and more next.
The Game Room is a production of Lackawanna College, serving students, graduates, and our surrounding communities since 1894. This episode is supported by Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Learn more at gamefuel.com.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to episode 4 of The Game Room. I'm Teddy.
I'm Rob.
And we are going to start today, just like we start every episode, with the patch notes. In today's patch notes, we want to cover a couple things. One, HughFest, which we recently attended with our Overwatch team. We have a special guest interview from the captain of our Overwatch team, so we're not going to dive into that too much. And then we want to talk about the NCAA, which is the new Esports section of the NCAA.
So many letters.
Yeah, it's a lot of letters. It's a heck of an acronym. But yeah, so first, let's talk about HughFest a little. Harrisburg, Overwatch, League of Legends, and Hearthstone. We took our Overwatch team, and right off the bat, we got thrown into a very, very tough group, but we had a lot of fun, I think. You know, it was challenging, but...
I mean, it was a blast. So, first thing, we kind of did it to ourselves. We drove down early in the morning, got there at 9 o'clock, and they were like, hey, guess what? You guys are playing Maryville University,
the defending champ.
Which is the team that ended up going on to win the competition also. So we had a tough go of it right from the get-go. So we played Maryville first match, right? And I think 2 matches later, we ended up playing Harrisburg, who was in the finals with Maryville. 2 very, very strong teams. A lot of talent in the room.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a blast for our players. I know that, and I'm sure when we have our team captain here to talk about it, he can tell us more about that.
Yeah, and I think it's one thing to go into that tournament knowing that we have the toughest match right off the bat and just immediately be dejected and down. But, our team kind of stepped up. We knew what we were getting ourselves into, and we just put our best foot forward and grinned and bared it, I
mean, spirits were high the whole day.
Yeah, for sure.
Because not only that, but the teams we were playing against, it wasn't like they were hostile.
Right.
They were after a match, we would go up and talk to them, and they'd be like, "Oh, well, here's where you went wrong. Here's where you can improve." And I mean, we made a couple friends who added them to the Discord. It was great.
So yeah, and then for Overwatch, Maryville ended up sweeping Harrisburg. In League of Legends, Maryville ended up sweeping Harrisburg. And then in Hearthstone, I believe it was Kent State that won. So yeah, all around great tournament, great showing. There was upwards of 60 teams there across the 3 games. It was a great time. Our team.
For those of you that want to watch those matches, you can look up on Harrisburg's Twitch. They posted the stream of the finals for you. It's a couple hours long. It's a good watch if you have a couple hours. We would just like to say congratulations to Maryville and Kent State, the winners of that tournament, but also thank you very much to Harrisburg University for hosting us and hosting all of the colleges that were there. It was a great time. We had a blast, and we can't wait to see you next year.
Moving forward, let's talk about the new esports branch of the NCAA, which is the NCAA. We're
just adding a letter.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only news for today. We're done.
And we're actually working our channels to try and get some officials from the NCAA here on our podcast, hopefully for next episode, talk a little bit. So today we just want to speculate a little bit about what we can expect. So in the conversations that I've had, they are saying that there's going to be upwards of 50 teams competing across 5 games in the spring, starting in the spring. We're going to have Overwatch, we're going to have League of Legends, we're going to have Rocket League, Smash Bros, and Fortnite, I believe.
Last time we talked about that, that's exactly what you told me.
It's not an exclusive league. Obviously, we can join. We can still have scrims elsewhere. We can play in other leagues or divisions like the CSL or the ECAC. But it's just a great opportunity for us because obviously Lackawanna College is already a part of the NCAA, so we are just adding another sport to our repertoire of competition within the NCAA.
And I think one of the great things is that since we're already part of the NCAA, just adding this and getting into it so early, we can help mold and shape the way the conference should go. And I think this is kind of the idea with esports on the whole, is because we're taking some of the, maybe not mistakes, but some of the missteps that maybe traditional sports have taken, and some of the rules there, like especially with some of the amateur rules regarding like players being paid, because there's a lot of professionals coming in. I mean, Maryville University had a player on the Swedish national team, right? That was it Swedish? Yeah, Swedish national team. In a traditional sport, that wouldn't be allowed. Or you have players that stream on YouTube, stream on Twitch or whatever, and a couple pennies their way, all of a sudden they would be disallowed from playing in a traditional sport.
Right. So there's a lot of things to look at, and right when we found out about the creation of this, we did just that, and we reached out to them and said, hey, we've been involved in this for at least a year. We know a little bit. We've learned some things. We've figured some things out along the way. How can we help? And not only that, a little more speculation is that within the NJCAA, we will soon likely be the only junior college with an esports arena in our theater.
That's a hot take right there.
So you tell me, Bob. You know,
hey Bob.
So we can potentially host all the national championships for the NJCAA here in this theater that you can't see.
Spoiler alert. Stay tuned for more news regarding that, and your first place for collegiate esports news regarding the NJCAA.
Right, and again, much like HughFest, then we have a chance to turn this national championship into a weekend-long event where we have the days planned out for each championship, and it could be a great event for Scranton and our college and our program. So
just the whole community as a whole.
Yeah, we're really excited about that, and I'm really excited about the competition. Again, I'm really excited about the an easier competition structure. I'm excited to play more teams that we haven't gotten to play yet. So we're really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a great time.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yep. All right, that'll do it today for the patch notes. Stay tuned for a special guest interview from one of our Overwatch team co-captains, Matthew West.
The Lackawanna College Student Restaurant, 409 on Adams, is open for the fall semester. Experience fine dining prepared and served by students in our 4 culinary and hospitality degree programs. Each semester brings exciting new menu items from our kitchen classrooms to our state-of-the-art restaurant in downtown Scranton. Proceeds benefit scholarships for our students. Visit lackawanna.edu/409Adams to see our menu and for details on how to make reservations.
Sitting in the hot seat right now, we have one of our Overwatch co-captains, Matt West. Matt, thanks for being here, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
So we wanted to talk a little bit about our experience at HughFest. Obviously, we got thrown into a difficult bracket, but you guys, it didn't seem to affect you too much mentally.
Spiritually,
yes.
Philosophically.
Yeah.
Going into it, we just knew that we were going to be faced against a really, really tough opponent in Maryville. So, I mean, our expectations were just to try to make a good showing for ourselves, but not to get too down on ourselves because it's double elimination, so we're going to have as many games as another one to play. So hopefully we're going to get a lesser opponent next time. Yeah. And we just take what we learned from Maryville and we're just going to take it and run with it. And hopefully we're going to take what they do maybe and like implement it in our own game.
It's one thing to get thrown into the fires like that, but it's another to learn from it, and actually sit back and just try to enjoy it and do the best you can. And I think we did that, It was funny because when we were registering, I walked up to Chad and I was like, Chad, Maryville? First game for us? And he's like, hey, man, there's a lot of good teams here. And I was like, yeah, but they're all in our group.
We did have a pool with like the top 4 teams.
Yeah, I'm almost positive everyone out of our pool made it out to playoffs.
They did.
I think our team made it out, but I know Winthrop definitely made it out.
Yeah. So we had some tough matches, but we also met some cool people along the way. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, we one of the players from Winthrop, we actually 2 of them. But one kid's a Hammond. He's top 2 Hammond. And actually a pro player would go into his stream and watch his Hammond play. And just getting to know those kids, and they're actually helping us out towards the end, like giving us a little bit of strats and stuff like that. So becoming friends with those kids, they're going to give us more input on how we should structure ourselves, how we should structure our own practices and stuff like that, aside from our scheduled practice. Because those guys, I mean, on Friday he said he plays 8 hours a day of scheduled practices, scrims and stuff like that. So it's just like those kids are on like a different level, like up here than we're like down here. We need to get up to up there. So
and it's not an easy jump, but it's something that's doable.
It's a gradual process.
Yeah, and that's what we're working on now as a team, is just getting more playtime together so we can get better as a team, get better as a unit, so we can just start.
And that's stuff. That's
these
a lot of stuff that's going to be on you, like personally,
Yeah.
right? Because there's stuff when we get together and I'm coaching practice, but I obviously have a limited schedule and can only help you guys so much.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the outside that, you guys are going to get together more often now.
Yeah, it's just getting time with your duels, with your partner. And DPS is where I play, so getting time with my other DPS it's going to build that team chemistry and it'll make us a better team overall.
So what was the biggest, if you had to like nail down one thing, what was the biggest thing you observed between the team you're part of now versus some of the teams that you played at Harrisburg? What was like the biggest thing that you want to try to improve on as a result?
One thing definitely is our communication was lacking severely when we were down there. So that's the one thing that we talked about in practice is we need to get our communication up because communicating is one of the biggest parts of the game. When we're not communicating, we're just falling apart. We're literally scattering here and there. And it's just like being a team game, we're supposed to be balled up, and it's just we're all not a cohesive unit.
I mean, but there's a couple things that can play into that, though, right? Especially if you're going up against a difficult team, you guys are all focused real hard on your own personal play, and as a result, sometimes the awareness of your team members can
Unravels it a little bit.
just a little bit.
And that's one thing, like I said, we need to focus on. It's just keeping our minds into the game and listening to our teammates just to make sure we have the communication there.
And getting yourselves to the level where it's you no longer need to focus so hard on yourself, but you can broaden your perspective to look at everybody else as well.
How do you think we'll show up next year if we enter the tournament again?
Looking at it right now, for spring especially, we're looking pretty solid. And that's not to take away from our team right now. Our team right now is pretty solid as it is, but we're just going to keep growing. We're going to keep getting better. We're going to keep adding new recruits who are higher skill rank than us right now. And we're just going to keep growing as a team, and hopefully we're going to make a big showing. I will only be complacent if we make playoffs next year.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a good goal to have. And I think going to these events, and even if we didn't stand a fighting chance against a lot of these teams, it's good to learn from them, figure out a better structure for ourselves.
I mean, it's just like chess. You can only get better if you play somebody better than you. And that going down to that tournament, just for the simple fact that every team there was objectively, there was something about them that they had over us, whether it was, I mean, the one Harrisburg team that we played, because they had two of them there, every one of their players was ranked top 500.
Every one of them.
Every one of them. And
That's
I think the highest rank on our team is Grandmaster in support, and everybody else is about high gold, low plat, right? Or have we averaged up a little bit higher?
Probably a little bit higher. I mean, Moose actually is a Grandmaster tank.
Grandmaster
But
tank, okay.
that's where our other DPS was until we had to switch him over to DPS. He was Diamond Tank.
Yeah, we gotta figure out the roles, and
that's-
then that's part of recruiting and just practicing and on a weekly basis restructuring to make sure those improvements are being made.
But it's not just individual skill either. It's also the chemistry of the team. It's how well you play with the kids. I mean, you could have, again, Harrisburg went up against Maryville with all top 500 players, but Maryville just had a better chemistry, and you could see the way that they played. I mean, it wasn't. They put up a good show. They put up a real good show. It's sometimes what it comes down to is not necessarily individual skill. It's the way you play together. It is a team sport after all.
Definitely.
Talk about the chemistry of the team a little bit. What do you think we need to improve upon in that
Yeah,
area?
team captain. What do you think?
Everyone just needs to get on the same page, and everyone just needs to drop whatever egos they might have. We're all a team, and it's not an individual game. It's just
Exactly.
all.
I've been saying that since day one.
Well, that's one of the problems, and we've known about this.
Yeah.
In the first episode, we talked about the fact that when you're recruiting, primarily you're recruiting people who have only played solo queue. And the hardest part is to get out of your own head thinking like, well, when you're playing in your living room, you're just playing against yourself essentially. You just want to continually improve yourself. But when you're playing in that room and you're sitting next to 5 other guys or ladies as well, because we have the mixed genders in the team makeup that we have presently. You're now playing for the team. You're not playing to try to get gold eliminations. You're aiming for the win. And regardless of how much you may suck that particular match, it's as long as you get the win, then that's good.
That's something I was telling the Rock League kids yesterday. Is
Yeah.
no matter what tournament you go into, even if you have a bad map, just don't even tell your teammates you have a bad map. Because if you guys won the map, that doesn't because then you're putting it all on yourself.
That's it.
You just need to just chill out and if you guys won, you guys won. If you had a bad map, fix it for next one.
So you got to keep your spirits high. Everybody loses.
Yeah.
Everybody loses a map. Everybody has a bad round.
Yeah,
but you just
exactly.
keep moving forward.
Yep.
What was it like? Because normally all the matches you've played thus far have been in the room and you're playing online and you don't see. But what was it like playing on stage
That was
in
dope.
front of a crowd?
It was really dope. I mean, it's something you always like dream of when you're going to college to play esports, and you want to be on that top level. You always want to play on stage.
Yeah.
And I think it was a little intimidating at first, even though it was just like a couple of people here, a couple of people there, and you guys. Still intimidating though.
Yeah, because I mean the way that the format was set up is there was kind of like a game room where you were playing like looking at the other team, and then there was the stage format.
Yeah.
Did you feel that affected you in any way playing on the stage versus playing just in the room?
Yeah, I mean the stage tables, the legs on the tables, they weren't hitting my knee on the stage, but in the room. They were
Nothing to do with the fact that it was on stage. It was the table I was playing at.
Yeah, it wasn't bashing my knees, so I was feeling comfortable actually on stage.
Okay.
It does have to do with it.
All right. So besides that, though, what was the difference between being in front of a crowd versus having not having to worry about people watching?
Instead of trash talking my teammates across the way, instead of looking them dead in the eyes, I have to look at the crowd. So it's just I can't really talk to the crowd.
You don't need to be toxic in chat when you can look at them.
Exactly.
Just stare daggers at them. It appeared that you guys had the most fun playing Harrisburg than you did any other team. It may have been because you go in thinking we're going to get rolled, but it's you guys had a lot of fun. Towards the end of the match, you guys pulled this wonky trick where you ambushed them right out of spawn and ended up separating them because they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, 2 picks off that play, and then immediately pulled back.
Yeah, it's one of those things that people just wouldn't expect because they're rolling us. They roll us the first map. They rolled us in the first half, and we go into that and we just
You're like, screw it.
screw it. Let's just push their spawn.
But it was all in good spirits. I
Yeah.
mean, again, Harrisburg, really great team. They were super cordial about everything. They were never toxic. They had a lot of fun with our kids.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun with them.
It was a super fun event and a great experience, and it was fun to be there.
Yeah, and then we'll a lot of practice in the off season here.
We learned a lot. It was a learning experience.
Yeah, and I think honestly we could touch on NJCAA a little bit here too, because now we're joining another conference. We have different opponents to go up against, and I think again we're gonna learn a lot from playing these teams. Is there any excitement going into that?
Well, I was thinking because you see all these big teams like Maryville, Harrisburg, and they're all recruiting heavily. And you see the junior colleges, they're usually 2-year programs. So they're probably gonna be like us, limited resources, whereas limited majors and stuff like that. So people are gonna go to say a bigger college with 4-year established degrees than coming to a JUCO. So I think that the talent there is gonna be far less than what it would be against the 4-year university like Maryville, Harrisburg, RIT, and all those guys.
Who may have a lot more resources to go pursue higher tier players.
So I think it's just going to be it's going to be very mixed, sort of
competition-wise.
Yeah.
I think I mean what you're saying is partially true, but I think there are going to be still some heavy hitters in the league as well.
I think the recruiting technique is just different as opposed to a big 4-year, well-funded school where they can just throw money at the problem until it goes away. Junior colleges just approach it differently. They offer an affordable education in something that you want to study, which attracts, again, just a certain type of player, right? As opposed to, we met a lot of players who at the tournament who admittedly were like, well, school's not really my bag. I'm doing this to try to reach pros. Whereas, I mean, we're going to be focusing on, I know you and most of the players on our team, they want to finish their degree.
So yeah, I think moving into the NJCAE, we're going to have a good competitive season for multiple games, and it's just going to be fun. And then again, like we touched on, a little speculation, we might be able to host some national championships for the conference here.
That would be crazy.
Yep, right here on the stage.
Yeah, I can see myself lifting the trophy right here.
I can't. Probably let Moose do it.
That's the goal. Well, yeah, I'll be lifting the trophy.
Yeah.
I'm the coach.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm the captain.
I tweeted that out as soon as we announced captaincies. I tweeted that out. I'm the captain.
I'm the captain now. Matt, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
If you guys like what you see and you want to see more, make sure to hit subscribe and make sure to hit the bell so that you get notifications for every time we post a new episode of The Game Room right here on Lackawanna College's YouTube page.
All right, and from everybody here at the Game Room, I'm Teddy.
I'm Rob.
And thank you for playing.